No offense. She was actually young.
You could have made.
She was on the younger side of things.
This conversation is going in the wrong direction for me.
No, she was very nice.
Yes.
I don't remember what her name was. It was like, we're gonna call her Katie. Her name was Katie. She brought us barbecue. It was delicious. She filmed a commercial with us. She was she had a connection with Clutch.
Why?
Because they went to acting school in the same state.
Oh wow, that's deep. Root Masa is our red Terran spawning on the right top side of Entombed Valley, while Mouse Card coaches Hasuobs is of course our German Proto spawning on the left bottom side. Players exchanging some friendly words early on. Ben, fantastic game 1 on Daybreak. I think Masa did almost everything right. Perhaps the first time Hasuobs actually had Storm out. Masa his goats were a little bit too late, but Hasu did such a good job in hanging in there. I think most Protoss players would have died from that aggression that Masa put on. I thought it was so smart from Masa to say, you know what, I don't need that many medevacs because my army is going to have a sick amount of DPS anyways. As long as I take out the Colossus, I should be able to steamroll the Protoss army, and he was so close to doing that. A real miraculous hold by Hasuobs.
Yeah, what a great game that was. For all the jokes we make about Daybreak and the Zerg matchups, it does make for some very exciting PvTs. And that Hasu versus Masa game was no exception to that. Entombed Valley will probably play out much the same, Kevin. This is a map where players like to sit back on 3 bases and then slowly work their way out to a 4th as the fighting picks up. Do you think Hasu might try to mix it up here, or do you see him doing a lot of the same stuff we saw on Daybreak?
I think it's going to be relatively the same, but he might go for 1 gate robot this time. Just to make sure that he can go up to 3 bases a little bit quicker if Masa goes up to triple orbital once more. As I said, there's just no way for Protoss to scout that unless you have an observer on the map. Even though often when I watch MC's games, and I've seen that 4 or 5 times whenever I was casting MC, he just always made the right call. Whenever he thought someone was going up for triple orbital, he did it. And it reminded me kind of like a great poker player who can't really see it, but somehow is right so often that it's getting kind of scary. Like, how can you even possibly know that? And you just can't, as long as you don't have an observer as Protoss. You cannot see if Terran just goes for double orbital or triple orbital. And it's nice to see that as soon as possible. We see an engineering rate going up over here in the natural, but Hasuobs does have a Zealot, so I'm a little bit surprised that Masa tries to pull this off. Ooh, the SCV almost fell. And this doesn't really slow Hasuobs down at all, as we can see. He's still going to be able to drop the Nexus pretty much on time. This time it's not going to be a triple orbital opening though, Ben.
Nope, it's going to be 1 Rax fast expand.
Followed up by 2, 3 Raxes already. That's a 4 Rax. So what I'm feeling right now, Ben, is that Masa might make a large group of Marines and just march across the map and try to deal some damage. This is not necessarily an all-in. As we can see, Refinery is going down as well, but I do think that he's going to create a large group of Marines and hope that Hasuobs cut a few corners. This is of course Entombed Valley, Ben, and this ramp is pretty damn big. This is not something that you can force field off with 1 force field.
Sort of an old school build, something that we used to see sometimes on Tal'Darim Altar.
Yeah, I was afraid of it.
And we've talked a lot about it. I don't really understand why it went out of fashion, because it is pretty good. You just make 16, 17 Marines and go.
It is pretty good, but if you don't deal the damage that you need to deal, Ben, you're in a little bit of trouble. This is nice, as there is no there was no bunker yet. Masa's at least gonna lose something, no? Hasuobs, there's so many things low on HP, can you at least kill 1 thing?
Hasu, kill something! Stalker in a really nice position, but only kills a single Marine before going home.
This SCV was 1 hit from dying, this Marine was 1 hit from dying. Hasuobs decided not to take that out. I'm not sure how much Hasu was able to see.
Probably because at the same time he has a couple of Marines harassing in his main base.
Ooh, those Marines sneaked away all across the other side of the map.
Already killed 5 workers.
Wow. I did see them leave. They went all the way over here from the right side of the map, but kind of lost track on that.
Wow, really nicely done here. Masa, of course, that's one of the reasons why that little harass from the Stalker was so effective, because those Marines were not
in the main
hanging around.
Kind of missed it. There are a lot of Marines right now. Hasuobs, this is not going to end well for you. He's taking a lot of damage on both Stalkers as well. He saw these 2 Rexes, but he did not see this one, so he doesn't know it's 4 Rex opening. He thinks it's just a 2 Rex opening.
I did see the number of Marines, though. That has to give him a really big hint.
Because we went from only 2 or 3 Marines on top of this ramp. Yes, there were 2 Marines sneaking into the main base of Hasuobs and actually taking out 6 probes. But still, this was an insane amount of Marines suddenly out of nowhere. So Hasuobs has to know that he has to be afraid of something. But he has quite a few Stalkers on the map, man.
Masa's once again going to send a group of units around this
Navy SEAL
sideways hall. Yeah, this is the SEAL team. SEAL team Billy moving out. We'll see if they're able to get anything done. SCV Scout is denied, so...
I think that's a genius scout, by the way, Ben, because I still think that Masa wants to get aggressive with all these Marines that he has, or at least with these, but kind of with sending out the SCV Scout is kind of like an, hey, I am afraid to go out.
Hey, I'm still in my base. I don't know what's happening. Don't mind me.
I don't think these Marines will be able to achieve all that much, so the moment Guardian Shield is activated, these 2 sentries and 2 Zealots should be able to deal with it. Hasuobs, are you paying attention?
Hasu is not paying the best attention. Does have to activate Guardian Shield, but there's nothing underneath that Guardian Shield. Still, the Marines are going to be dealt with minimal losses incurred.
2 probes and a sentry. 3 probes and a sentry.
That's nice.
Maybe 4 probes?
Probably not 4 probes, as Marines getting punched to death via the side blades of those Zealots. That's a horrible way to go down. Fatality.
Masa's going to keep the other Marines in this main base. We do see another orbital going up. Of course, Ben, with the amount of Marines that Masa produced, his factory, which also means, of course, his starport, are going to be delayed quite a bit. So, yes, this has been pretty good for Masa so far. He's not really going to have the follow-up window like he normally would have, trying to hit Protoss before the army gets a lot stronger by either the addition of Charge or Storm or Colossus.
And Masa is making so many Marines. I think he's just going to make a little push with Stim.
No medevacs, just Stim?
Does he have a factory yet?
Okay,
yeah, so he will obviously wait for a couple of medevacs then.
But that's going to delay everything for quite a bit. It's not just... he might still do it. He might just go without the medevacs. He's going to march across the map. Because the moment he stims, he's going to rip apart this Gateway army. With 23 Zealots, 1 Marauder, he's going to obliterate 5 Zealots, 4 Stalkers. 2 sentries, but if he waits much longer, 2 more warpins. No, it's not. I thought this is even a cannon, but we don't even have a forge yet. First forge is being wiped in right now, and a Twilight Council, and additional gates.
Now, Hasu's not in a terrible position, even if Masa does push right this second, and it looks like, in fact, he's thinking about it. Because he's sitting up at the top of this ramp, he's got plenty of sentries, he's got enough energy to force field that ramp for days.
For days?
For days. And he does have a lot of gateways going down right now. He's up to 6 gates. 6-gate robo with Blink being researched.
A few small things, but I love how Hasuobs gets his observers into a main base of Terran. How often don't we see someone just send his first observer right above the bunkers? And even if there's no missile turret, it's still so obvious that often it gets scanned and it won't see anything. Even if Masa would have a couple of Marines over here and would scan and take out the observer, at least you got to see something rather than not see anything when you just rally it right across the map. Those small things, they can be so incredibly important.
And because of those small things, Hasu getting a great look at Masa's main base, sees all those barracks.
And more importantly, Ben, he sees the starport. The timing of these medevacs is so extremely important. You want to know when you have to worry about drops. You want to know when you have to put Stalkers in position to perhaps deal with a drop. As you can see, Hasuobs is getting Blink. He's going up to 3 bases now as well. Masa, of course, is a triple orbital, so that's something.
Masa sees the observer. He sees it, but he's not going to shoot it.
Haha. Observer says, ha 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 ha.
If observers could laugh, that is exactly what they would say.
They would have like the laugh of that little video, the Moon Kid, who did like that.
It would be like a little robot laugh. Ha 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 ha.
That would be also the. Would be also if like this little chat balloon pops up like ha ha. The cartoony version.
The chat balloon would be 0s and 1s though.
Like cell shaded version of StarCraft 2. Like ha ha. That was kind of funny. As we see Armory going up as well, of course, to improve the upgrades on the bio units, as 1-1 is done already for Masa. Masa is up once more by a good, well, 15 to 20 supply. Hazuobs going up to 3 bases right now. Doesn't really have any stalkers in position. He does have Blink, so that's the most important thing. And what he does have, Ben, is observers in beautiful positions. This is a trademark play. If you don't use your robotics facility to create Immortals or Colossus, just use them to produce those 2 or 3 extra observers. Because 150 minerals or gas and 75 minerals is not often going to win you the game. That 1 extra Zealot or Stalker is not going to win your game. An observer in a good position can win you the game, or at least can prevent you from losing it. So excellent decision here by Hasuobs to immediately go up to 4 observers when he's not using his robotics facility.
Also has excellent vision. He sees everything. He controls the tower. He's got pylons on the corners of the map. He has observers covering everything else.
Yeah,
spotted the drop coming out with the Zealot.
And he's going to try to snipe it. He's going to try to snipe it. Masa has Billy the Marine over here. So Masa knows he's going to unload. No, he's not.
Look, now Hasu tries to stop it, doesn't manage to. Now the medevac flies over another pylon, so Hasu's going to know.
And soon the observer's going to say, guys, it's still coming.
I see you. Ha, ha, ha.
I see you. It's still coming. Warp in, Stalker. Red alert. Warp in, Stalker. Okay, Hasuobs does
Wow, the Roddy Robot voice. I never want to hear that again.
Was it that bad?
It was pretty bad.
But this is going to be pretty bad for Hasuobs, man. This is not a fight he can win, and he's going to take some serious damage over here. He does have quite a few zealots. So, fortunately, he will be able to do it. Does he not have charge? Or yeah, he does have charge.
Somehow, Kevin, Masa is 50 supply ahead of Hasuobs. He has 105 army supply against 70 army supply. He's just marching across the map right now.
I mean, that's all follow-up from killing those probes early on and going up to 3 bases before his Protoss opponent did so. Hasuobs does have an Archon, does not have Storm once more. I don't see a possible way Hasu is able to take out this bio army, man. There's just no way that I can. There are 60 Marines and there is no Storm and no Colossus. How can you deal with 60 Marines? Can you please tell me?
Maybe if you had 4-4 upgrades.
4-4? Yeah, maybe like 8-8, that every Zealot slices like a Jedi sword.
Right now, Hasu has done one thing that's going to help him out. He's managed to split the army of Masa, but I feel like it's just a matter of time before Masa decides to consolidate his forces again and deliver that crushing bro.
Bro? Crushing bro. Sorry, man, you're my bro, but I'm still going to have to give you the crushing bro.
It's like a really fat frat guy. He's a crushing bro.
These Marines and Marauders are working on this Nexus. The Nexus won't fall, but what they did do is slow the economy down of Hasuobs once more. Because Masai's army was a little bit out of position, man, as a large clump of bio units was over here. There was a reasonable amount of bio over here, and most of the bio was still coming in. He didn't want to take the fight immediately. But if I were him, I would just march across the map once more. I mean, Zealots and Stalkers can be scary, but if you're this far ahead, man, he's up 30, 40 army supply. There's no Storm, there's no Colossus. There's just no way that any Protoss army is ever going to kill this bio army.
I think Hasu finally realizes that he's getting his Robo Bay and he's adding a second robotics facility, so he will be able to produce Colossi 2 at a time. But I think we're going to see another attack from Masa here, and it's going to come before any Colossus tech enters the battlefield.
3-3 upgrades on the way for Masa already. Well, Hasuobs on the other end, but it's just on 0-2. He is working on 1-3, but all these Zealots are charging in. Of course, Guardian Shield is going to help us quite a bit.
Not going to help that much because this Terran army does so much damage. Hasu's going to have to fall back. But he's going to get chased right now, and Masa with so many units.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of bio units. Going to stim once more. More force shields going down. Hasuobs doing a reasonable job. At the moment these Zealots are done, man, all these targets are going to fall so extremely fast.
It's like Hasu just kicked a Terran anthill. These Marines come swarming out in mass. And
Marines. Oh, he's landing the factory as well. Old MKP style. Hasuobs does says Gret. Copying that over from Stefano. And Masa takes game number 2.
Ties up the series 1-1. Masa once again goes on to play in a game 3.
And he played good, man. He played really solid. Sneaked those Marines early on across the map. We were focusing on Hasu's aggression, but the real damage was done on the other side of the map, well, meanwhile the camera is flying around. Well, meanwhile Masa actually was the one doing some serious damage, killing 5-6 probes early on from a Protoss player. It's massive.
Yeah, a great game there by Masa. Tying up the series was brought to you by Stamps.com. Hassle-free postage from your PC, Kevin. If you feel like sending a letter to your mom in the Netherlands, if you feel like sending a letter to...
I like to tweet my mom.
Tom Cruise, a fan mail. You can do that. Head over to nasl.tv/p/stamps. Right, hey Tom, love you, kisses, XO Roddy.
XOXO.
And... with a little bit of luck, he might just respond. Guys, we're going to take a short break. Game number 3, Masa versus Hasuobs, coming at you after this short break, Smiley says.